Hey folks, Quill18 here, and welcome to some more Let's Play SimCity. We are doing an Easter Day live stream, so if you see me look over here, it's because I'm looking at the live stream chat, which is going to be pretty damn hard to follow because there's currently 1,200 people in there. It is nuts. So we are playing in a new region. We're playing in Spring Haven that was put together by Ava, who runs the A Kiss for Luck YouTube channel, also Twitch.tv channel. I'm going to be live streaming here for maybe a couple hours until I get tired, and then I'm actually going to be passing the torch on to Ava, who should be in here playing. We might hop on Skype in a little bit. We'll see exactly how it goes. I think I'm going to start sort of off Skype for now, but then we'll go in here. This region is populated. It's full of people who are viewers of ours, between Ava and myself. We've filled the region up. She's done all the organizing and set everything up. So I'm in fact quite a late joiner here. I haven't done anything in my region, which is currently unfortunately known as the Eastwood Ravine. Is that a Back to the Future reference? Is that just me? Was there not a ravine in Back to the Future that was originally named after a school teacher who died, but then when Marty McFly went back to the past and called himself Clint Eastwood, and then they thought he died and they renamed? I think that's what happened. Yeah. I'm sure, like, yeah, it is. Yeah, the chat's confirming. Look at that. Oh, that's brilliant. Brilliant fun. Anyway. So, yeah, we're just gonna be playing in this region today and trying to participate in there. So, at some point, we'll take a break and we'll do a tour of the region. We'll check out the other towns. But for now, we'll just get started in our own little place. We've already sort of fiddle-faddled enough, so let's jump right in here. Oh, yeah, I gotta do that. All right, so this is our area. It's kind of an awkward terrain. It's mostly flat. This whole plateau here is quite flat. If you ever want to build a city that's literally kind of maxed out on how much space that it's got going on, you want to start in this region and grab one of these city locations, especially that one there. It's perfectly flat, and I think this one is as well. Maximum building space. So this one's pretty close, but then it's got this weird chunk sort of cut out of it with the rail down there. Unfortunately, we don't have any water access, but that's okay. I'm not sure exactly where the best places are to run a road down here, and how much we can make use of this space. It's really quite awkward. The rail is good if we get up to the point of having the advanced trade depot things later on. We can connect them over here and really use this to ship a lot of stuff out of town. And speaking of which, what is our goal for this town? Well, I mean, we've made sort of touristy areas before, we've made sort of residential areas before, and I've gone, you know, at some point I talked about doing this like pure industrial hellhole, and this is going to be a little reminiscent of that, but not exactly. What I want to do is really focus on the, because we've got, where are my buttons? Where are my buttons at? Here we go. And, oh my god, I've got my TweetDeck pop-ups happening in exactly the wrong place. Hold on, I gotta move my screen around here so that they're not covered up. Okay, so we have coal, and we have ore. Now, since this is our Easter live stream, and actually, thanks everyone who joined in here, considering the fact that a lot of people have family obligations today. We are going to go with an Easter theme, and Easter means one thing, obviously. It is the single most important part of the Christian faith: bunnies and chocolate, right? Everyone knows that's how religion works. It's all about bunnies and chocolate. So we are going to, of course, our land, as I was just saying, is full of dark chocolate and light chocolate. And so we are going to create a chocolate bunny industry in our town. In fact, I'm going to experiment with keeping the smallest population possible while making a functional sort of trade town. We're going to try to produce as many goods as possible. We do have the advantage that we're in a kind of a mature region, so a lot of the basic services are going to be set up for us. So, without further ado, let's consider this. So, we've got our, let's double check the air pollution, the wind map. So it's blowing from, what side is north? Okay, good, we're oriented. That's north, so it's blowing from west to east. So ideally, normally in a city, we do something like put all our industry over here on the east-hand side, right? But this is less of a majority residential city, and, you know, we're just trying to cram the industry somewhere. Instead, it's going to be mostly just industry, and we're just going to try to put our residential somewhere safe, which is probably going to be over here on this side. I find where this road is coming in is going to be a little bit awkward, because what I'm going to try to do is make sure, because we don't have a high population, traffic won't really be a problem. Actually, I almost don't have to worry about the road set up in any way whatsoever. You know, if you don't have a high population, you're not going to get a great amount of traffic. That being said, I'm going to try to keep certain areas a little bit segregated. Mostly, I want to keep the industry. I want to have So let's say we have industry sort of over here. We're going to have trade depots here, which is actually going to work very nicely with our coal and ore, right? So we've got our dark chocolate mine over here, and we've got our light chocolate mine over here. I don't know how these regions work. Like, do they mine out map-wide, or am I going to mine out this one and then have to build another one here? In fact, I'll probably just build two. And for the coal, I'll probably build two right on top of another just to try to get as much production as possible. So I'm going to have those here, and I'm going to have trade depots sort of on the highway here, conventional industry over here. So the conventional industry will be able to get their freight over to the trade depots and then get things in and out of town very easily is going to be the idea. The biggest problem might be something like my residential population creating traffic as it goes to work, but I think we can deal with that pretty elegantly by just having a main sort of boulevard right down the middle of this area, so that the residential traffic is going from the left-hand side of the map to the right-hand side of the map, but not really using the route that's going to be used up by trade traffic and also commuters, because we're going to have more industry than we're going to have residential, so we're going to have a lot of people that are coming into our town to work, and they won't interfere with the normal flow of our stuff. So, so yeah, that's the general idea I'm going to go with. And in fact, I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to start off by making a distinct right turn from this using a curve and kind of explicitly kind of going off in that direction. And then I'm going to drop another curve going, well, I'll show rather than tell, I suppose, but I'll drop another section of the avenue going off at a bit of an angle just to ensure, see, if I made this go straight and then took a right, now I still think a lot of the traffic would take the first right that they saw, but it's possible there'd be a mix-up. So what I want to make sure is all my commuter traffic and industrial traffic, I don't want any of it to go in the sort of direction of where my residential is going to be. So I'm going to make this sort of corner right away, like so. Yeah, I'm liking it. Boom. All right. So we're going to minimize the chat. I guess that keeps popping up now. And I know because I'm using a medium density avenue, it's actually going to force an intersection right here, which is not optimal, but we're going to try to, we're not going to worry about it for now because there's not going to be a traffic problem. And then later on, we're just going to be upgrading these road sections and all will be fine. So we're going to keep going with the medium density avenue and stretch this out. Now, one thing I've done in the past, I think, is relied. Yeah, we're going a little bit crooked because of how that is going, which is kind of unfortunate. I'd almost need to build a guide first to make sure that everything is going exactly the way that it should. Do I want to build an avenue back here? No, not an avenue, but let's go ahead and stick a medium density road over here, and then we'll bring our avenue off of that at a 90-degree angle and somehow make it work out. Going to come pretty close, like so. I held shift to force it to be at 90 degrees, and then I can have these join up. So I mean, this is kind of a funny looking bend, but then overall we're going to be back on a sort of same grid. I don't know, maybe I should have left it be crooked. So yeah, there's going to be that, and then what I'm going to do is take a medium density street, and for now I'm just going to have it come off kind of like this. And you know what, we'll go ahead and use the curve tool at this point. Draw this off like this for now, and then we'll go ahead and why don't I have a road? Oh, derp, I gotta unpause the game. Other people have been screwed by this before. They're like, what do you mean I don't have a road connection? I clearly have one. Unpause the game for a tick and let it go. Alright, so we'll build a sort of dummy residential area over here, and you know what? Maybe we'll do that as well, just to get, because you need a certain number of buildings in your city to unlock things. Just like we can't go and start building our specializations. We can't build our mines until we have power, water, and industry. Now, what I'm going to do, for starters, is make sure to buy all this stuff from the region, right? Power, water. I'm gonna, as many people who can deal with this stuff, I will go and queue them up. It'll only use what's available. So now we've got water and power, but we need, does this say 7 industry? That seems like a really odd number. We need 7 industrial buildings. All right, so we'll get that started. So yeah, the industry section is going to be over here. This area is kind of weird. I don't like actually how it puts that guideline so close to the border, because I don't think this is big enough to have a high population, or rather a high density site. No, maybe I'm wrong. It does have the thick yellow line, so I guess that is enough. I mean, this wouldn't be particularly interesting, but it would work for now if we did something like that. Alright. I know I'm bad for, like, saying I'm going to come back to things later and then not really, but I will try to make this a little bit more interesting later on. My goal right now is to try to get the industry set up as soon as possible. And speaking of which, can I take out the big bonds? I can, yes! I love being in a mature region that's got all the add-ons put in. So let's kick-start to just a higher speed, and we should probably play more of the game at a higher speed, but just to get the population, just to get things to trigger, we want to get those. Yeah, so we're just waiting for the industry buildings to come in. We're going to check the chat, make sure things are going well. We have a whole 42 people in our town. Yeah, so the follow-up live stream is scheduled for around 4 p.m. So my goal is to hopefully go till around then, and then just pass the baton over while I, take a break. I mean, I'm going to take some breaks partway through the session here, but then, actually call it quits at a certain point. Pass the baton over to Ava, who makes cities that are far more interesting and pretty and creative than I do. So we've got that, The trade depot's there. So let's go. Again, I wish I could pre-plan all this, but I have a hard time visualizing absolutely everything that's going to happen. So there's a good chance I'm going to be putting roads in kind of stupid areas. On the other hand, that can make things a little more interesting. Now, the coal is the most straightforward, right? Big lump of coal stuff right over here. The ore is actually slightly weirder and trickier. I'm trying to visualize how those mine shafts will go. This bit is like really weird. I mean, I can sort of extend the mine shafts through here, but it means a couple of them are, or at least one of them is going to be in this weird sort of low density area. I could actually have 3 operational ore mines, and at some point if I want to get all the ore out, I guess I would have to. You know what we're going to do? We're just going to take this medium density street. Extend it out sort of this way, and then we're going to have another one that comes out kind of here at 90 degrees, maybe a little lower, just like that. And then let me bulldoze this a tiny bit. And then what we should be able to do is take the arc tool, extend off of this. There we are. Again, it's not, it's a little wonky, but yeah, we'll deal. All right. So the big barrier now, of course, is that we don't have any money. No money, but we can take out huge loans. So that's okay. What are we at? We are at 6 industrial buildings. We need 1 more. Really? Son, I am disappointed. So let's go ahead and just draw another group of them. Like that. All right, and then we're going to kick in. And just to give our residents something to do, we'll put in a little block of commerce, just to make everyone happy. So we're making a tiny bit of money, but of course it's easy when you don't have any services whatsoever. And we're actually we're gonna try to hold off on services as long as possible. I'm not convinced that we're ever gonna have an education system. We'll see. And luckily, if we keep this low density, and we keep this low population and low traffic, it should be really easy to have like 1 fire truck, 1 police car, 1 ambulance, basically service our entire town. We'll see how it goes. Anyway, let's go and take out our first bond. And we're going to go straight for the 100,000. And we are going to get started on our coal mine. In fact, there's going to be a pair of coal mines, one on each side of the road here, because you have a limited amount of these the shafts you can sink, and we're going to want as many as possible just to try to extract as heavy as duty. The video has frozen? Yeah, video freeze. I'm back. All right. It's probably, there seems to be another, there seems to be some sort of tournament going on Twitch. I keep getting notifications. I know that the League of Legends is having a big tournament today, I think in Europe. And I saw some stuff for StarCraft and World of Tanks coming up. So the problem with streaming on the weekend, streaming on weeknights seems to be awesome. Streaming on the weekends tends to mean Twitch lags on us a little bit. And unfortunately, there's not a whole hell of a lot we can do. I'm not convinced we'll ever need an education system, so Mayor Quill is going with the No Child Left Behind model. Oh, burn. I mean, it is a political game, so I guess there'll be some political burns from time to time. I'm trying to figure out what the best way to sort of bring out from here. Can't remember how the mine shafts come off of these, and they're expensive enough, I'd hate to waste them, but I think what we can do is pull off of here and then go straight down and have a couple going off to the side, and that's actually going to be pretty nice. Of course we need to place a sign. Good God, we can't have a site without a sign. But Coal Mining Company. I wish I could mod that and just say the Dark Chocolate Mining Company. So yeah, we're going to... Oh, that's kind of awkward. I mean, we'll be okay. God, this is a huge area. We could have a lot of mines. There's a possibility we're going to build another mine on the bottom of this. Holy cow. That is redonkulous. Okay, so we've got that. Of course, we can't do anything without the trade depot. So, I'm actually going to go and build a road connection. Not like that. Kind of like this. And then put the depots right here. Like that. Coal. One should be plenty for now. Alright. Good, and that gives the industry something to ship the freight to for now. Although I don't think this ships freight to other towns. I think this is just a holding place for freight. If we want to be able to sell freight sort of automatically and dump it without having a commerce, what we're going to need is an airport. And actually, I could definitely see us building an airport right here. I think I've said that before, but this might be even more than usual. We're going to make a lot of money based on just taxing industry. So right now, most of our income is going right in bonds, but as soon as we start selling stuff through the coal mine, it's going to be awesome. In fact, I'm so confident that's going to be perfectly fine that I'm going to take another 100,000 bond out, and we are going to drop the second coal mine. Just to make sure we're not... Oh, that's really awkward. The coal and the ore are in the same place. Still, I think we could sacrifice this little ore spot, more or less. Or I suppose I could start building off to the side here. It's still got... It's pretty close to maximum capacity right here. And we might be able to avoid the overlap. It's not the end of the world, though, because clearly we've got a lot to go around. Something like that. I mean, it's going to be a little uneven. Listen, we're going to make so much money off this. It's going to last perfectly fine as is. And what might happen is we might, later in the future, when this is sort of tapped out, bulldoze this and then rebuild it, 2 feet to the left. But that's okay. That is perfectly fine. Signs, signs, signs. Yes, we built the signs. Isn't there like a classic song about signs? Something? I don't know. Hopefully the volume's okay for everything. Did I remember the sign here? Yeah. Yeah, we're good. We've got it all. So, okay. So, that's my coal. And then we are going to do the same thing for the ore. Although, I think I'm going to wait a tick. I'm going to wait for a delivery of this to actually finish. We don't have any delivery trucks yet. And we're definitely going to need more pretty soon. You know what? Maybe we'll do that. We've got to make sure that we've got some source of income. Because we don't want to get caught in a big loop with the bond thing. Now, I don't think we're actually going to need very many delivery trucks. It's very close to the depot. There should be very little traffic interfering with things. I suppose it's possible that there's going to be some commuter problems in the morning over here. That being said, actually the most awkward thing is going to be the fact that this is right next to an intersection here. So these guys, there might be a bottleneck here, and then these guys won't be able to pull out. If that is the case, then what I will do is I will end up moving this road somewhere, somehow. Just so that it's a little further away from here. We can put the intersection on the other side, and that might be a lot better. We'll see how it goes. So yeah, let's watch that. We'll probably need some more delivery trucks here as well, just because these guys have to make a fairly far trip. Oh, I forgot a sign here. My God, that's what people were saying. All right, because we want the stuff that's in here to be delivered at a relatively reasonable rate. So we have a bit of a worker shortage. I think that's going to be fine because we should get workers from the region. Again, if we take a look at the region itself, we have quite a few neighbors. Now, you are limited in these regions. It's kind of weird that The only people that you can send stuff to... video freeze again. Yeah, that's too bad. Well, I'm just going to keep going. At least we're going to have a decent video on YouTube. If need be, we'll restart things, but it should be okay. So, right. So the regions, even though we're in a region with like 16 cities, unless this is a 12-city one, but looks like 16. The only ones that you can trade goods with are the ones that you're connected by road, because when you actually send goods, you usually bundle them into a truck and then ship them somewhere. I'm going to restart the stream because people are kind of shouty, and hopefully that'll fix things. So, yeah, so the roads really determine what you are, and as a result, really, this big 16-city region is almost like 4 smaller regions of 4 cities each. That being said, the rail connections and different things, like the cities connected by rail are not the same that are connected by road, and the same thing with water. So it kind of splits it up in different ways. But your real neighbors are the ones you're connected to by road. But we've got a few neighbors that are actually here, so we should be able to get some citizens going back and forth from both, and that's totally fine. So, oh yeah, we've got to leave this on high speed. So we're currently losing money, but as soon as the shipments go, we should start to make money, of course. The reason we're losing money is because we don't have a very high tax income. And we're also buying a lot of our power and stuff from outside of the city, which is perfectly fine. Once our city gets a little bit bigger, obviously we are going to be creating a coal power plant, right? But we'll see how far we can go without that. The density of the residences will increase. People are always asking me, how do you increase the density of residences? And the short answer is you don't really do that directly. Most of the things that you do, like people will say place parks. Parks increase the value of a land. It doesn't directly increase the density. Density is a factor of happiness. And how do you get happy? Well, to get happy, people have to acquire happiness. They do that by going shopping. They use money to buy happiness. Well, how do they get the money? They work. So if you want your city's density to increase, you make sure your Sims can get to work, get money, come home, leave home again, spend the money somewhere to acquire happiness. And that is how you get these things to grow bigger. Parks do help because parks act like shopping, except you don't need money to do it. So you can have your city grow quite big with just that. And I think people may get happier over time as well, just sort of passively, as long as there's nothing totally wrong with your city. And then there's like really weird things you can do with like zero tax cities and blah, 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 blah. But yeah, other than that, we're fine. We are... I guess I got to take a little bit of a break from the YouTube recording. I feel bad about cutting it here, but we're having some problems with the live stream, so I'm gonna pause the recording for a sec. We'll be back with the next part soon enough.